So do I have enough to invest? Do I have enough to save? Those are needs. Because I need
Hmm.
to be growing this money. Because if I'm not growing the money, then I'm losing value.
You know better.
Right.
Considering how we all grew up as well, don't you want more, not just for yourself, but for your kids?
I got a question for you though. What do you say to that adult that still doesn't get it? Like 30 years old, 35.
Okay, because you know I'm real. I mean, well, first we gotta go through the stupid talk, right? You know, we gotta say, man, what are you doing? That's dumb. You stupid. Why? Come on, man. Then, depending on the relationship you have with the person, right? Now, if it's a tight relationship, you can be really honest and you can point some things out. Like, for instance, look, man, I mean, now I'm going to talk how I would
Hmm.
talk. All right, if you're being stupid, I do have a buddy of mine. He's dumb, right, with money, two times bankruptcy, and he just don't learn, right?
Right.
But it's like, okay, look, man, like you got two kids, right? Like, do you want to be in the streets? Do you want to lower your standard of living? Do you want your kids to struggle because you struggling because you can't differentiate between having a BMW and just a Honda Accord?
Hmm.
And then here's the other question: who is it that you're trying to floss for?
Hmm.
We old. Nobody care about that stuff no more. So who are you doing it for? Right
Hmm. Right.
now, whether or not I convince them, it is that cold bucket of reality that I throw in their face.
Hmm.
Because the talk that I had with my 18-year-old, well, he don't know any better. But
Hmm.
dude, you know better. Considering how we all grew up as well, don't you want more, not just for yourself, but for your kids? Because I
Right.
think we said this in one of the little health talks we had. As we get older, things are supposed to be a little bit easier.
Hmm.
Well, why do you still want to continue to struggle
Right.
and then complain about it? Well, you can't complain about something where you're self-inflicting the wound on yourself.
Right. Right.
So that's the talk I have with an old person. Do I expect them to change? Nah, right? I mean, I mean, some people, they'll come
Yeah.
around when they come around, but
Mhm.
you know better. It's the you know better talk.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
You know, and what do you do? You know?
Right. And I think that's vital what you said. Like if you can't do it enough to motivate, your kids or
Mhm.
to keep your kids from going through the things that you went through, I
Yeah.
really don't know what to say about you.
No, no, no.
No.
And then I'm one of these guys. If you ask me, I'm going to answer,
Hmm.
right? If you don't ask me, I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're good with it,
Right.
right? You just be stupid on your own time. But I mean, we'll still kick it and stuff. You're just gonna be stupid on your own time. But
Right.
don't ask me how I acquired certain things or how I do certain things because I don't want to share anything with you if you're gonna be stupid,
Hmm.
right? Because everything comes like the good thing about your book, everything is common sense.
Hmm.
If you ain't got no common sense, I can't do nothing with you, right? I'm just gonna keep calling you stupid every time you ask me. Say, well, the reason why you messing up because you're stupid,
Right.
right? Now I'm gonna tell you how to get right, but that's on you how you take it.
Yeah, I think not to keep harping on this chapter,
No,
but
no,
it's
you
it's
good.
important. Do I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
need this?
yeah.
Because I thought about that too. I think we mentioned it last time too when we talking about people dropping out of college and out of
Mm-hmm.
high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, man, it's like they couldn't wait like just a little bit longer. It's like high school
Right.
is 4 years,
That's
4 years
it.
out of your
Yeah.
life. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand some people do have extenuating circumstances like that where they have to go to work or whatever. But 4 years
Right.
compared to the rest of your life,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
in college, and I understand sometimes people don't have that money to keep on going for whatever reason. But if you have it and you still didn't do what was necessary to give yourself just that little bit of edge, because that's what it is, an edge.
What it is. That's it.
I cannot
Yeah.
say that I would be in the field that I'm in and have the opportunities or the choices that I have. I have summers off. I have summers off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, people say teachers are underpaid. Well, I get summers off.
There's a trade-off, right?
I
Yeah.
work 10 months a year.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
2 weeks off in the winter break. I get a week off for spring break. I accrue leave as I go along. So I'm
Yeah.
taken care of. I'm provided for, and I have summers off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
It's a
just
good
like
deal.
I afforded myself that opportunity by making a sacrifice ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do I really need this education at that time? Yes, I did.
Right.
Yes, I did. because I
Yes,
was
you did. Yes,
looking
you
to the
did.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, quick question for you.
Mhm,
Well, not question for you, but really
mhm,
it's a rhetorical question,
mhm,
but hopefully for the audience that's watching this,
mhm.
and I made a note about it when I read this section. Can you define need versus want? We kind of talked about it
Oh,
in layman's terms,
good.
but in our day to day,
That's
when
good.
we are talking to someone about, well, what do you mean by need? What's
Mm,
the difference?
mhm.
We've given examples, but how would you define it for the viewers that are watching?
That's good.
The difference
Excellent
between
question. And I feel like we should have already addressed that, but good point. Good opportunity to bring that up. Need, because I thought about it earlier when you were talking. It's really the things that are necessary for life, for
Mhm,
life. And I'm going to say the essentials. Do you have food? Do you have are you warm? So basically, are you safe? Because the elements can you cause harm.
mhm,
I know 3 people within the last year that died from freezing to death, right? So or do you have proper shelter? Do you have clothes and shoes that you can wear? Even to a job interview, do you have the necessities? And then
mhm.
if the necessities are taken care of, your home, your rent is paid, all your other bills are paid. Those are all
Mhm.
needs. Okay.
Right,
Not saying that your streaming service is a need. Not saying that you got to have the fastest Wi-Fi. That's not a need. Because
right.
you can go to the library and use their Wi-Fi, right? You can go to
Mhm,
Starbucks and use their Wi-Fi. So those
mhm.
are not needs. Cable is not a need. I know a
Right.
lot of people don't have it these days, but it's not a need. It's
No.
not, you know. I think cell phones have kind of moved into that essential, it's essential,
Can't get away from it now. Yeah.
kind of order, because that's how we communicate with the world, really. And if you don't have TV and cable and all that, there's YouTube and it's available on your phone, or you go to the library and use one of their computers. So it's just, to me, I feel like those are things that are needed. Okay.
Mhm.
Your transportation is needed if you're going back and forth to a job that it's a distance away. So then that takes me to the next level of things. Once all those necessities are taken care of, so do I have enough to invest? Do I have enough to save? Those are needs. Because I need
Mhm.
to be growing this money. Because if I'm not growing the money, then I'm losing value with the money.
Right.
Because inflation is continuing to increase. My money just sitting in my hands, in my pocket, is decreasing. So then above that, now I can look at some wants. And I don't have to get
Mhm.
all my wants. I don't have to have them all.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I gotta, like, my thing, I wrote about it in this chapter, I think. I love to eat out.
Mhm.
I told my friends, because they would like, some people that I had just met, probably I think through church, they were like, "You eat out a lot." I said, "That's something that I like to do." But I said, even if I get down to, I said, I budget for that though. I
Right.
budget for it every month,
Mhm.
And then so once I get down to the end of the month, this was before, not now. I said, if I got to go to McDonald's and eat off the dollar menu at the end of the month, I'm gonna eat out because I set aside for
Right.
it.
That's right.
Everything that I do is already set aside for. There's
Right.
very, very rarely am I randomly spending money. Very
Mhm.
rarely.
Mhm. Well,
So
I
go
jotted
ahead.
down in my reflection page as I read
Okay.
this chapter. I wrote down. Hopefully, I can read my chicken scratch because my handwriting's terrible, but I think faster than I write. And need with respect to purchases, right? Because everything you said is spot on.
Hmm.
Uh, I looked at it from the standpoint of purchases just being very direct. And
Hmm.
what I wrote was need with respect to purchases are long term investments
Hmm.
that will give you a realized gain or return that increases in value,
Okay.
right? And that could be education, that could be transportation.
Mhm.
The things, the vehicles that you put your money into is the engine for growth, future growth. So
Right.
that's how I looked at it.
Right.
And then as far as want, again, within the context of purchases, I have want purchases that are short term that usually have a negative return or no realized gain in value.
Hmm.
Um, and then I made a little side note. It's essentially money that's wasted,
Right.
right? Now, and I'm not talking about the occasional splurge of going to McDonald's every month. I'm talking about where you're just flipping money over and over and over again, and you're not getting any return,
Mm-hmm.
right? You buying that Gucci shirt or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? It looks good on you for the moment, but you
Right.
can't wear it every day. It's
Hopefully,
not right,
hopefully you
right,
don't wear it every day.
right, right. It makes you feel good for the
Right.
moment, but after that 3 hour night out, you got to come home and put it in the cleaners for
Mm-hmm.
5 hours, right? You can't wear it again no time soon because you know how it goes. Everybody gonna join on you, man. You just had that on every week. You wearing it again,
He
right?
wear that shirt every week.
It's not getting you job interviews. It's not
Right.
presenting business opportunities. So those type of things. It's not a vehicle that's going to gain you any long-term
Right.
value. So that was my formal definition of need versus want within the context of purchasing and spending money.
And to piggyback off what I said, because it ties into what you said, being that investment, that long-term investment that's gonna have a realized gain.
Right.
When I was saying, do you have a place to live? Are you safe? Are you warm? Do you have
Right.
transportation to get to that job? I'm not talking about, like you said, like a Range Rover. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about the 5,000, 6,000 square foot house. If you can't afford that, you know,
Right.
but if you've made the sacrifices and done what you've had to do, then that is like a reward. You've built
Right.
up to that, because you
Right.
got your savings, even your emergency savings in place, your investments in place. Now I can kind of take some off. I can treat myself now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
you living in the projects and got this, S550 parked outside. That don't make sense. It doesn't
Right.
make
Right.
sense.
Right. Right.
I think about it because right across from TC, right there, when you coming down
Mm-hmm.
King Street, you make that left to go to, I think that's Braddock Road right there.
Yep.
It's right on the corner.
Yep.
It's a
Right on the
nice
corner.
Benz that sit out there
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time, and a
Quaker
Range
Lane.
Rover to sit out there.
Yep. Yeah. 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 Well, to your point on that, when we're talking about need versus want,
Mm-hmm.
does that tie into investments versus just expenses?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we talk about needs, are they really investments?
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about wants, are those just expenses?
Mm-hmm. I think that's what my goal is to have like a
Mhm.
paradigm shift where we see
Got,
that the investment is a necessity.
got you.
You know,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
change, this for generation. When I speak about generations in here, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I don't even have any children. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I want to just sow seeds around me so people can see, like, yes, this investment is necessary because once again, the money it has to be growing or you're losing
Mhm.
value.
That's
So
it.
I
Yeah.
feel like it is a need. And I even kind of spoke about it backwards because I said, pay all your bills, make sure your housing is safe, and
Right.
then you get to the next layer where you're investing. I say that
Hmm.
for people that really just want to be safe, but
Right.
really that should kind of be kind of at the right there with, am I safe in my house kind of
Right.
thing.
Right. Right.
Building
Right.
that investment plan.
Right.
Because
Right.
once again, I want to bring a paradigm shift where we see it as like almost like the air we breathe. Like that's
Hmm.
that's how important it is, not only for you to get your mindset on that, but to pass it on to your kids so we can just break the cycle, really.
Right. Right.
Cycle.
Right. Well, as I segue into your wealth building word of dividends, because needs
Mm-hmm.
do pay dividends. Can you talk
Mm-hmm.
about the importance of dividends with
Mm-hmm.
respect to the need versus want, and just from an academic standpoint, when we talk
Mm-hmm.
about investing, talk about dividends on both ends.
Right.